All right, good evening. My name is Vallone, and I'm happy to say I'm running for New York City Council. I'm also very happy to say that we had an amazing weekend. Happy Father's Day to everyone out there who had a belated Father's Day. I received a few presents this weekend that you can't open up in a box. First and foremost, my older son Charlie graduated kindergarten. My daughter Leah, who is here, scored the winning goal in her soccer championship on Father's Day for me. Thank you, Leah. That was amazing. And my daughter Katina has been accepted to the vocal program for the Frank Sinatra Public High School. So this was a wonderful, wonderful Father's Day weekend for me, on top of the world. Also, because I coached Leah's team as well as I coached Charlie's team in soccer, got that ball that didn't play soccer growing up, and somehow they won a championship. Tonight, St. Andrews, right down the block, is their awards night. And I'm supposed to be presenting Leah some surprise gifts this evening, along with the rest of our team. And I had asked the very first candidate if I could go first since we rode together, and he said no. Remember, these are the types of things that determine character. And when you ask someone man to man, person to person for those things, I think you should need to know that. Because what is city council but a representation of our community? Who is the person that's going to serve us? Why are we here? Well, I know I'm here. Thank God I'm married to my amazing wife, Anne-Marie, 18 years now. Don't ask her, she's a little bit of a date notice, but someday she'll figure it out. And 18 years ago, we chose this amazing neighborhood right on 32nd Avenue, 107th Street, for the beautiful tutor, right here in the neighborhood. And to this day, Janet, I know I'm about 30 feet outside of Broadway Flushing homeowners, but if I'm privileged enough to be elected, we are going to extend that 30 feet, because I don't want to be part of the damn Broadway Flushing homeowners. But we're right the next house out. And we chose St. Andrew Avellino Parish to bring up our children. And that's who I am. When you see me, you see family. You see a tradition. You see my grandfather, you see my father, you see us. We stand together. But why are we here? Three things. Reclaim, restore, respect. What do we need to reclaim? Our city council laws. It's been an embarrassment. We are on the front page of the newspapers. Today, accountability in local officials is at its lowest. Find me someone who wants to have a conversation about their good politicians. Doesn't happen. People are frustrated. People are upset, and they have a right. So we must reclaim that office. A, as a Democrat. B, restore what has been lost. There is no more integrity, accountability, trust in our elected officials. 3 generations I'm very proud to stand behind. We work together on boards together. We coach teams together. We stand together. That bond of trust is sacred, and it just doesn't happen overnight. So we have to reclaim it. We have to restore it. Thank you. And I think we have to check that time because we heard about a half hour the first one. And then we need to serve it with respect. What does that mean? We have to respect each other. There has to be that bond. If you're going to serve in public office, you better damn respect that office. You have to respect each other, our views, the family you come home to. Who are you accountable to? Us. This is our office. We deserve better. What binds all of us? Our quality of life. Every one of the boards we sit on, what's on the agenda? Something that affects our quality of life. Whether it's Janet and Bob starting quiet skies for Queens, for the planes coming over our heads, whether it's open development, whether it's trucks bearing down our streets, whether it's redistricting, whether it's talking about our public schools, which are number 1 in District 25 and 26, but can do better, it always comes down to our quality of life. Look what's on the agenda tonight. Look what are the questions. This district is a residential district. We are very different than the rest of the city of New York. That's why we have to stand together, because no one else is listening to us. So how do we get things done? We still have a landmark. What are we missing? We need our elected officials to stand together and fight for us. Not one man standing on a corner. Standing together. That's why when people stand with you, things can happen. I was very proud when the Queens Democratic Party, from our Assembly members to our Congress members, endorsed us. Because when we're talking about an issue that's federal, we better have Grace May and Steve Israel listening to us. If we're talking something about state, we better have our state senators listening to us, our assembly members listening to us. And guess what? When we're talking about City Hall, it's not one council member. No one's ever going to listen to one person. You have to unite all of the Queens council members. You have to get a majority in City Hall. You have to get the speaker and the mayor. Otherwise, it's not going to happen. And that's one of the main reasons why we're still not landing. We need the support of everyone. What have I always fought for? What will I always fight for? And I don't care about any other issue unless we talk about something first. We must be safe. To this day, if we have no public safety, we have no quality of life. We have no reason to buy the home here. We have no reason to send our children to the school. As a small business owner right on Francis School, you see my office, Vallone and Vallone. Why would I buy that lease? Why would I work every week to find out how we're going to make the bills pay? We must be safe. Guess what? We have a dubious distinction been handed us. The Broadway Flushing Homeowner Group from 150th up to Utopia is now #1 in home invasion in the city of New York. That's not what I want to hear. That's not as a father, as a homeowner, as a community leader, as somebody who's got an office. I don't want to find out I need to put cameras, get a dog. I got a baby. She barks at everyone that comes to the door. But that's not what we want to hear. We have to support our police. That's why when the sergeants, the captains, the lieutenants, and our fire marshals said we're going to endorse Paul, that meant something to me. They're listening. And for those who didn't endorse me, I'll tell you why. The first question they ask any candidate who goes, will you support a new police inspector general? I say no. We have enough regulation. Our police need to be police. They need to protect us. People, the children need to be connected once again. What happened after the Connecticut massacre? Where did we go? We went home. I ran to St. Andrews. I checked on my children. We cried. What did we do the next day? We grieved for the country and our fellow citizens in Connecticut. What did we do the next day? Is this going to happen again? Are my kids safe? What is my school's policy? No one knew. Is it their fault? No, it's never happened before. So you call the 111, you call the 111, you get your principal, you talk down, and you talk to the children. This is how we promote safety. And now, on the next week, they had a public safety day in the school. Children ask very difficult questions to their parents. Why did we have this? What happened? Why am I standing behind a cement wall in the principal's office? When I had to tell my 5-year-old why, that was not a conversation I ever wanted to have. But when you're a parent, you have to. When we're community leaders, we have to. We have to fight those fights. And the only way it's going to get done is if we stand up for these things and we stand together. So all of these questions come to, where is the input coming from? It's got to come from groups just like these, just like ours. We don't want mayoral control through mayoral appointment to tell us what to do. What can we use that as an example? Well, our education panel, 13 positions, 8 of them are appointed by the mayor. What does that give him? Mayoral control. Has it worked? Find me a teacher who's that. That's a simple answer. Why don't we ask our teachers what works? On Community Board 7, Rose Morgan's there. We have Arlene Fleischman, our chair, and she presented to us just last week at our meeting to support the weapon bill, to do just that, to say take away mayoral control and restore it back to people with educational experience, give parental input, and have our community education councils have a little teach. Listen to this. Our teachers know best. Why don't we ask the police officer, how is it every day when you have to arrest somebody? What are you faced with? Who am I to tell him what him or her to do? No one asks the people who make the decisions. That's the point. When you come to Broadway Flushing and the Auburndale Civic, who knows best? We do. Why doesn't anyone ask? Why doesn't anyone listen? Back to mayoral appointments. The Board of Standard Appeals on the list. All 5 are appointed by the mayor. You think they care about what we say? No. How do you change it? You change the appointment process. You take away from the mayor the ability to hold control over the key agencies. Allow each borough president and city council member, in conjunction with our civic groups, to decide who should be thought of, whose resume should be looked at, who actually knows what the hell they're talking about, before somebody appoints someone to make decisions for us. That's how we solve these problems. And we do it together with our elected officials with new appointments. Anything on here is talking about quality of life. I've made copies tonight of the Delugio decision, which was alluded to tonight about the Ricketts Family. Why is that one decision so important? Leah, stand up so I look at you. That's my order. We have about 50 copies there if anyone wants it. You know what? Take it home. Because everyone in this room is an educated person, smart, fights for their community. That decision is exactly what you want to hear. Somebody heard it. And where is that decision from? The New York State Court of Appeals. That's as high as it goes. That case started in the Supreme Court, went to the Appellate Division, wound up at the New York State Court of Appeals. At least I figured something out after 22 years of being a lawyer. That's how it works. And when the Court of Appeals makes a decision, it is binding. We won. The only person who can overturn that is the Supreme Court of the United States. And that's not going to happen. So now we have law on the books defending that Ricketts-Finley covenant, saying all new homeowners and existing homeowners must abide by it. And Broadway Flushing fights that fight because the city's not going to do it. How many times have we been told, sorry, that's not the budget? We don't do it. Sandy stuck to it. Janet stuck to it. You have to raise your own money to do it. Well, now you have a case to work with, along with all the other decisions that have been upheld. That's the importance of having something heard. Broadway Flushing was heard. What haven't we been heard of? Landmark preservation. Why? I don't know. As in the past, are we landmark? No. Why don't we try joining our elected officials together? Let's get it done. If 85% of the community wants it, let's do it. Let's have a true petition, just like we've had always going around, just like our groups do, find out what the homeowners want, find out what the concerns are, and we as the city council members then get other Queens council members to get it done. That's how it's done. Step by step, one by one, working together. So, I thank you for letting me to go second tonight. I had a wonderful, wonderful presentation to make to Leo over at St. Andrews for our school. And I apologize to the three remaining candidates, John, Christy, and Watson, because I won't be able to hear them, so you're going to see me leave to run back to St. Andrews. But I will be right down the block, giving out that trophy. If there's any other questions, I know you've got a couple of questions. And I think there's one thing to add on, and real quick about real estate taxes. We can find a way, clearly, enough with the taxation. We find a way to use your water sewer bill, your comment bill, your tax bill, your lease, your homeowner's insurance, your maintenance, anything that you have to do to stay alive, there's nothing left. Now, I do elder ward, the senior ward attorney. When they raised the assessments on our co-ops and condos, and when the Co-op and Condo Association stood with me and said, yes, you know what you're talking about. You're a real estate lawyer. You can't afford it anymore. So they just arcane systems to raise our assessments triple, 10 times, 20 times. There's no money left. So no, we can't do real estate tax increases. And how about a little accountability? I've got to show my 5 employees, my wife and my kids, where the $100 goes at the end of the day. When was the last time the city ever showed us a budget? What the hell are we paying for? Where is our money going? If we can do it better in our homes with less, why can't the city do it better with less? That's the accountability. Henry, you have a question, Mike?
Yes. One question here says, if elected, you will represent the residents and voters of this district. Will you consult with civic leaders and interested persons before deciding your position on local land use issues and all votes in the council that impact on your constituents, as your vote should be their vote?
Yes, that's what we have to do now. And we have our civic groups that are reason. Why wouldn't you want to consult the very people that you live with, let alone represent? You raise your children, you have your family. Who better to ask about our schools, about our parks, about our quality of life, about trucks running down the boulevard? We have notices that go out to the neighborhoods every time the community board says start a debate like what's in life, or what if they wanted to do? They wanted to give out scholarships. 2 years, you can have $10,000 in scholarships to seniors in public and private high schools, through donations from everyone here. We got together. What do we need to do? We have to talk about what's most important, find out what those critical issues are, and address those things.
Another question, where are your campaign contributions coming from? What percent are from real estate developers? What percent from lobbyists?
Well, the good thing is, New York City has one of the best campaign control laws, called the Campaign Finance Board. The state doesn't. On the state, you can give just about anything to anyone else, and that's part of what we hear in the reform, even on the federal level. But in New York City, every dollar that's given to every candidate is recorded. Every penny that comes in, whether it's matching. So, for example, someone gives you a $100 check, the New York City Campaign Finance Board checks, sees that someone lives in the city of New York, and then will provide 6-to-1 matching funds. And that's the beauty and the help that all candidates get. So if you raise $10,000 and the funds are matching, you will get 6-to-1 from them. So the ability, you are maxed at what you can spend. All of my contributions come from residents in the city of New York. I don't know the breakdown, but my life, who am I? I'm a lawyer, I'm a father, I'm someone from the community. All three of those are my contributions. I say very thank you to anyone that ever gives me $1. I'm very proud of everything that we've done, and as a result, all of that is disclosed for everyone. All we have to do is go into the New York City Campaign Finance Board, and you can see unless someone doesn't participate, if someone like Boomer doesn't want to participate in the process, they don't get matching funds. And then you'll never see them. That actually happened in 2009, one of the candidates didn't participate, and that caused all sorts of chaos in 2009. Any other thing?
One of our guests tonight is Janet McInerney. She's the head of Queen's Quiet Sky. She's trying to, and she's working with other people to control aircraft noise over our community. And one of the questions, several questions actually, have to do with that topic. What can we do to stop aircraft noise in our community?
Listen to Janet. That's what we have to do. Janet and Bob Whitehair, if you've been privileged enough to see their presentation, Vallone came from an angel from California here to the district and educated all of us on what's going on in the country. There are round tables in every major city except for New York. What's a round table? You got it right here. People who are affected by airplane noise have the right to have a say. What just happened to us? All of a sudden we woke up one day and it turns right over my house on 32nd Avenue, goes right down Francis Lewis Parkway, right out to the water, and we hear it every 2 minutes and 25 seconds. There's another plane getting more and more loud. So Queen's Quiet Sky is formed, and we need to work with them. And what happened is real quick, the FAA found a categorical exclusion, fancy word for exemption, that they didn't have to do an environmental impact study, because they said it didn't impact us. Are you kidding me? I've been playing someone every 20 seconds over and not impact us. So the good news is, we just spoke to Congressman Seaversfield and Grace May, and Janet and Bob and her board are being given a meeting with the FAA, which hasn't been scheduled yet, but it's coming up. They're going to listen. They're going to make a change. I don't know,